Give me the news. I've got a bad case of loving you. No pills gonna cure my head. I've got a bad case of loving you.
Hello, it is Coronavirus Video Journal Day 36. It is the morning of June 7th, 2020. My shift has just ended. And it is the beginning of a new work week for me. And it is a short vacation week, so I only got 6 days off before I had to come back for 6 days of working instead of the usual 7. Nonetheless, it looks as though the coronavirus numbers are getting higher at our hospital, but I myself did not have any coronavirus patients overnight. So nothing really to discuss there. The patients that I did admit last week that I thought would not survive their coronavirus experience are still holding on. Although still severely ill and still on ventilators, they have not died yet. So there's hope. But beyond that, I have no news. Unfortunately, the protests that have been going on this past week, past 10 days, are going to lead to a ridiculously high number of cases of coronavirus infection. But people have to make decisions as to what's more important to them, their own lives or fighting for something else, which also might be their own lives. Nonetheless, we won't get into any politics or discussions along those lines, but in the next 5 to 10 days, our numbers should skyrocket, even more so than they already have since last week. But that's it. I'll keep you all updated every day that I'm working. Stay safe, keep your masks on, and try not to be outdoors unless you feel you absolutely need to be. And that's going to do it. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Good morning. It is Coronavirus Video Journal Day 37. It is the morning of June 8th, 2020. Nothing to report today. It was a very busy night, lots of sick patients again, some BS rolling through the doors of the emergency room, but I had no coronavirus patients. We did have a couple of young individuals die in the hospital from partying too hard. One right at the end of my shift yesterday, and another one early in my shift today in the ER. Looks like now that the protests are out and about, and certain things have opened in Southern California, people are going overboard, celebrating their freedom in the process of just getting out of the house, be it for protesting purposes or just to get out and socialize. So they did not die of COVID. They ended up dying of other party-related injuries or issues, we'll put it that way. Nonetheless, that's it. Like I said, no other coronavirus news from my facility. But we'll see. We should get a lot of these protesters coming in pretty sick pretty soon. So, nonetheless, that's it for me. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep wearing your masks, stay inside if you can, and talk again tomorrow. Good morning. It is Coronavirus Video Journal Day 38. It is the morning of June 9th. So, long night, very busy. It's been the busiest night we've had in the emergency department in months, literally months. So lots of different kinds of patients coming in. So we've had decent sick patients, but also the whiny, pain in the butt patients who don't need to be in an ER. So it looks like people are starting to flow back in like they normally do. It doesn't appear that anyone has learned anything. Go figure. Nonetheless, I had one single coronavirus positive patient overnight, and as sick as they are from the coronavirus, they're not that sick. In my opinion, they could have gone home, but we were asked to admit because this patient had other medical issues, and the emergency department staff was concerned that this patient would rapidly decline. So, I opened up my heart and said, okay. But that's about it. Nationally, 20 different states are reporting significant increases in the number of COVID cases that they're seeing. So they're now upward trending. And Florida's trend is ridiculously bad. Over the last 7 days, they have seen a daily increase in cases by 46% per day. So, that's ridiculous. And they're actually trying to hide their numbers and not report them. Brazil has decided that they will no longer count coronavirus infections or deaths because their numbers are so ridiculous that they don't want the world to know how poorly managed the virus is in their country. Unfortunately, their president agrees with our president on treatment and lack of isolation and social distancing, and they're paying the price for it. And what else? The WHO just came out yesterday and claims that transmitting the virus without symptoms is very rare. But that doesn't really actually make any sense, because that would either mean that this virus is much, much, much more contagious than we thought it was, or they're wrong and it is being spread by people who show no symptoms. The whole reason behind that is simply that you cannot have such a widespread dissemination of any infection when people know you're sick. People naturally will tell you to get the hell away when they can see that you're sick. That's why certain diseases that make you sick super quick don't tend to spread super fast, like the flu. So there's a lot of misinformation going around, and given that this is from the WHO, who do you believe? I hate to say that it's misinformation from them because they're supposed to be an authority, but for the time being, I've been reading their report. It doesn't really make all that much sense given what we're seeing. So, this is an evolving disease, and what we're learning about it changes daily, but I can tell you that's probably not correct. So, just like the fact that they claimed that this virus was not airborne, well, we proved them wrong. So, nonetheless, that's it for me. I don't want to keep you. The video is running a little long as is, but be safe, be good, wear your mask when you can, outdoors especially, rather indoors especially, more when you're out of your house, be it outside or in another building. Wear them. And try to social distance and isolate as you can. And try to stay safe. We expect a surge of new cases because of the protests. We've already seen a 10,000 case increase in a matter of 24 hours throughout the country. So we are already showing a spike, and it's likely due in part to the protests since they've been going on for over 10 days already. So it's real. It's out there. Just because no one wants to report on it anymore doesn't mean it's not still going on. So, but that's it. Be good. We'll talk again tomorrow. Good morning. It is Coronavirus Video Journal Day 39. It is the morning of June 10th, 2020. And it was a busy night. It looks like I did have a partner last night, and that was very helpful because we both got slammed with patients, so it took some of the burden off me. And overnight, we have seen a bunch of new coronavirus cases. My group admitted 3, 2 of which were mine, while the emergency department actually saw a very large number and was actually able to send most of them home as they were not critically sick, just had, mild to moderate lung respiratory symptoms. So looks like it has picked up significantly. I've spoken to a number of our ER doctors, and they all agree. They say that they're seeing many, many new coronavirus patients coming through the doors in the past, maybe I'd say 4 or 5 days, but it was at its worst overnight. So one small note that I will mention is that in the last 3 shifts I've done, the vast majority of my patients have been Hispanic, and not, American Hispanic, but mostly immigrants from Central and South America. And they're all very ill and needed to be admitted, but it's just very odd that my patient population has shifted almost completely to that population as opposed to the usual mix that I get of Hispanics, African Americans, whites, etc. So I don't know what's going on with that. It looks like most of my coronavirus patients so far are not Hispanic. I've only had 1 this week that was, but I don't know if that means anything yet, or if they've just been so ill and so afraid to come in that now they're all pouring in as things have been opening up, as they can't wait any longer. I don't know, I'm just speculating at this point. But that's pretty much it. I don't have any real news from the rest of the world in regards to COVID-19. Nothing spectacular has come out, so that should do it for the entry today. As usual, stay safe, wear your masks, stay indoors if you can. Just play it safe because it's about to get really bad really fast. So be good. We'll talk again tomorrow. Good morning. It is Coronavirus Video Journal Day 40, the big 40, and it is the morning of June 11, 2020. I had 1 coronavirus admission all night, and it's actually a physician from a hospital not all that close to us, but still in Los Angeles County. And this physician is an emergency room physician who is super sick. Go figure. Obviously, exposure to many coronavirus patients just kind of hits home the whole idea that, our job is dangerous in the time of this pandemic. So I wish him the best and hope that he recovers quickly. But until then, doing the best we can with what we got. Otherwise, the hospital has been getting very busy. Apparently now people are no longer afraid to come to the hospital for stupid things that we have to admit them for when they should really be going to a primary care doctor. So those patients are now coming in all the time like they used to. And on top of that, we were getting the coronavirus patients starting to come in in high volume. So be prepared for the collapse, especially as the coronavirus cases start growing in number again. So because of the protests on top of everything else. So I think it's going to get ugly. It's already started, but my voice isn't loud enough to make policy. So you just got to take the punches as they come. But that's about it for me. No other highlights for the shift. Stay safe, be good, wear a mask. We'll talk. Good morning. It is Coronavirus Video Journal Day 41. It is the morning of June 12th. I am happy to report that I personally had no coronavirus cases. Unfortunately, it looks like our ER is getting swamped with coronavirus cases, but for whatever reason overnight, they did not come to us, like to my group, but some may have been admitted to the other two hospitalist groups here in my facility. I've taken I've polled the ER physicians in my emergency department, and they all have agreed that they are seeing many, many more coronavirus patients in the emergency department in the past few days. But amazingly enough, the vast majority of them are not as sick as they were, during the original wave. Most of them are able to be sent home to self-quarantine, which is good news, honestly. As much as I'd love to tell you I told you so, etc., it is beneficial for everyone that at least these patients who are getting infected are not as sick as they could be. So other than that, nothing going on. Really, really busy in the emergency department. Looks like everyone's getting back to their normal routines, coming to the emergency room for absolutely no good reason. And we're getting coronavirus cases on top of that. So for my sake, I really hope that we keep having not so sick coronavirus patients. Otherwise, I'm going to be destroyed at this hospital with the number of patients I'll be getting, because I'm already almost, up here with patients every night now. So, but that's it for me. I'm off, as you yellow. So I'm off for a week, and I will be back to fight the good fight. That's all I got. Stay safe, wear your masks, stay away from other people when possible, and I'll catch you on the other side.